Well, Thursday evening to you. My name is Ron. This is Christians Aren't Sheep. And I thought I'd bring you outside this evening over here by the motel I'm staying at. I know for the last few weeks I've been really probably whining about the weather more than I should with all the snow that we've been getting. But this week has been just gorgeous. The snow is melting extremely fast, and it's just beautiful. So I thought we'd do this outside tonight. And we're going to cover the entire story of Joseph. Well, at least the beginning and the end. The whole story of Joseph is quite a quite a chunk. But let's get into it here. Starting in chapter 37 of Genesis. Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe. But his brothers hated Joseph because their father loved him more than the rest of them. They couldn't say a kind word to him. Jealousy, left unchecked, will always lead to hatred. If you don't nip jealousy in the bud, you're going to have some serious, serious problems. So, oh, Joseph's brothers plot and scheme, and they're going to kill Joseph, make it look like a wild animal did it. But Reuben intercedes and tries to convince him, don't kill him. Let's just sell him off to the slave traders. And so that's what they did. Joseph gets hauled off to Egypt as a slave. And he has quite a life, ups and downs in Egypt. And okay, Joseph in chapter 42. This is near the end now. So Joseph's 10 older brothers went down to Egypt to buy grain. There's a drought going on, right? But Jacob wouldn't let Joseph's younger brother Benjamin go with them, for fear some harm might come to him. So Jacob's sons arrived in Egypt along with others to buy food, for the famine was in Canaan as well. Since Joseph was governor, he was in charge of selling all the grain. Joseph recognized his brothers instantly, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. Where are you from? He demanded. The land of Canaan, they replied. We have come to buy food. Although Joseph recognized his brothers, they didn't recognize him, and he remembered the dreams he'd had about them many years before. He said to them, You are spies. You have come to see how vulnerable our land is. Oh, no, my lord, they exclaimed. Your servants have simply come to buy food. We are all brothers, members of the same family. We are honest men. We are not spies. Yes, you are, Joseph insisted. You have come to see how vulnerable our land has become. Sir, they said, they are there are actually 12 of us. We are your servants. Are we your servants are all brothers, sons of one man, living in the land of Canaan. Our youngest brother is back with his with our father right now, and one of our brothers is no longer with us. They're talking about Joseph. So Joseph has a little bit of fun with them, gets them a little bit worried. And they suddenly start thinking that they're getting punished now for what they did to Joseph. And it goes on a little bit that he puts them Joseph puts his brothers through the ringer. And then in chapter 45, I really like this part. Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you." So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and wept. He wept so loudly the Egyptians could hear him. And word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. "Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. "Please come closer," he said to them. So they came closer, and he said again, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery in Egypt. But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place." And this is amazing about Joseph. "It was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more, and there will be neither plowing nor harvesting. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he is the one who made me an advisor to Pharaoh, the manager of his entire palace, and the governor of all of Egypt." Wow. The beginning and the end. It's an amazing story. And if you haven't read it in a while, I encourage you to read that whole story about Joseph being sold into slavery, becoming a slave of Potiphar's, all of a sudden being in charge of his whole household, and then getting falsely accused of rape by Potiphar's wife, going to prison, left there for years. Yeah, it's a great story. I doubt if I could manage it, but manage to live what Joseph did, but yeah, he was the right man that God chose. You all have a fabulous night. It is Thursday. Tomorrow I'll be heading home. Not sure if I'll do one tomorrow night at home, but we'll see you sometime this weekend. God bless. Take care. Good night.